Hello everyone. Let me navigate home really quick. Just got out of work yesterday. I would have said just got out of Guardians 3, but I saw it yesterday and just got home and I was fucking exhausted. I immediately wanted to go to bed. But now I'm still exhausted, but it's not as exhausted, and I'm not immediately going to bed. Also, I have to drive home and I haven't had dinner, so you know, like, that's what's going on right now. I'm driving home. I just picked up some dinner. And, you know, yeah, that's what life is right now. But we're going to talk about the brand new movie I'm sure everyone has heard of, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And if you have not heard of it, you must be living under a rock. Because this is a fucking big-ass movie. I think everyone knows what fucking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is, but just in case you don't know what a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is, basically it's probably Marvel's, like, third biggest franchise. I think the Captain America and the Avengers movies made more money, like, overall. But, like, other than that, I'm not really 100% sure how they did. I'm not really, like, okay, I obviously know they made money, but I'm not really sure, like, how much money they fucking made, like, as a comparison to, like, the general, I'd say just, like, overall worldwide box office. I'm not sure. But Guardians 1 and 2 did make a lot of money, and they were bigger hits than people thought. At the time when the first one came out in 2014, no one was really, like, knowing what the fuck the Guardians was. They're like, the fuck are these people? It's like, where's the fucking Avengers, man? The fucking raccoon in a tree? Are you serious? This is what we're getting? No. But a lot of people out there like me had faith because they were like, that looks really fun and really different for Marvel. I can't wait to see that, and god damn it, I've loved the Guardians forever. That was my favorite MCU film at the time it came out. When the second one came out, it wasn't my favorite until, like, a while later, but now I still think Guardians 2 wholeheartedly is my favorite MCU film of all time. Like, I fucking love that movie. It's funny, it's colorful, it's unique, it feels more stylized and different. It is the most, like, non-Marvel Marvel film. It feels like a Marvel film, it has that formula, and it can feel fun for a superhero film, but it's not 100% Marvel. It is about the characters. The ending is super emotional. It's colorful, it's different. It doesn't feel like your typical Marvel outing that's just hamming shit in your face. It is its own standalone thing. And while the Guardians have interacted with the Avengers before, obviously in Infinity War and Endgame, their characters are mostly standalone, and that's what really works for them. They feel like their own family, they feel like their own storyline. They're in the MCU, but they're also like James Gunn's babies. And James Gunn is a fucking fantastic filmmaker, one of my 5 favorite filmmakers working today, easily. Like, God, I loved his Suicide Squad. I can't wait to see what he does with DC. I've loved Slither, I love Super, and I've loved his Guardians films. And here is Volume 3, and I got to see it a week early yesterday at a fan screening. It was just an advanced screening. You had to wait in line for it, but anyone who was there, I'd say 90% are fans. 10% are like, I'm going to just go see this early because I can. Like, there's a few press seats, and I looked back behind me, and the press seats, not all of them were taken up, so not all the press showed up, because press screenings for Guardians were technically yesterday. The 27th had a lot of press screenings worldwide. But in case you missed it, some other press could go to this screening, and there were seats for them. But I got the best seats in the house that I always like. We were the fucking, like, second people there. Like, there's first people, and then it was, like, us right after them. Like, we got there at, like, 2:30 p.m. I went with my friend Angel. And hell yeah, I sat down. And I gotta say, if you've been worried about Marvel like I have, because they've just been releasing kind of some shit knocker, not great movies, this isn't that. This isn't that. This is a good movie. This is a really, really, really good movie. Like, you don't even understand. Like, I loved the fuck out of this movie. It's dark. It's so Guardians of the Galaxy. It has that vibe. James Gunn has that goofy, energetic, hyperactive, colorful, fun style to it. But man, is it dark and fucking sad. If you do not shed a tear or just, like, have your heart broken and just like, oh, fuck, during this movie, then you are an awful human being and you should kill yourself. No, you're an awful person, though, for real, because, like, God, dude, this movie hits. It really goddamn hits. And there's just so much good shit in this movie that I want to talk about, and I can't do until a spoiler review. I'm seeing it Wednesday at a triple IMAX marathon. We're going to see 1, 2, and 3, me and my buddy Noah. And after the movie ends, as we drive home, I'm going to do a spoiler discussion with him in the car while we're driving home. So hopefully we can discuss the film more in depth for you. But for the stuff that I can say, I'm going to go over the basic story. Basic premise: the Guardians are back. They're on Nowhere. If you watch the holiday special, they have been at their new headquarters, Nowhere. They've been rebuilding it since Thanos' destruction of it and how kind of rot down it became. And they've been fixing it up. And something happens where they need this piece of information from the High Evolutionary so they can... I mean, if you obviously can get from the trailers, it's obviously to save Rocket's life. They need something from the High Evolutionary, who is the big villain, played by Chukwudi Awuji, who's great in the film. By the way, we'll get more into him later. But yeah, that's their thing. They got to get something from him so they can save Rocket's life. And this movie heavily focuses on Rocket. It is a Guardians film, and with every Guardians film, James Gunn cares about character. He loves these characters. He does not fuck around when it comes to these characters. They're his babies, and he loves them all individually. He knows exactly in this film where to place them and make a true ending for them. Because this movie, it ends this Guardians. This is the end of these Guardians. Not to say that some of the characters can't come back. Not to say that the characters are fully gone and all dead. The characters can be alive or not, and regardless of it, they can be turned. But this is his Guardians trilogy. This is the trilogy. When the next Guardians comes out, I wouldn't, if there is a Guardians film, because they've hinted that they could do more. If another Guardians film comes out, I imagine it wouldn't be called Guardians of the Galaxy 4. In fact, I don't even know, would they be called the Guardians anymore? Like, what would happen on, like, a newer team? Or if we brought back characters for their own standalone films, what would we do? I would wonder, because this film ends this trilogy perfectly, but if it wants to open room, it can. I don't know how they'll do it. I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, even when the film ended, I was like, okay, so I could see, like, these characters who are left coming back, but I could also see them not coming back. I could see them doing standalone stuff. I could also see them being a group again. It's really hard to tell, but that's like exactly why this movie ends on a perfect note. Every character is given an arc from the very beginning of all the films, and if you watch all three back to back, at least I imagine, I'm going to see them all together again in IMAX on Wednesday. Once I see them all back to back, I will really know, and I'll give y'all my word, piece by piece, if they nailed doing it that way, because what it's set up in the first film, there's so many minimal things. Obviously, we know Rocket has been tortured in his past and created. He was this, like, almost built-up organism. And if you've seen Guardians 1, you get a little hint of that when Quill is looking at him in the shower, and you just see that thing on his back, it's his skin scraped off, and you can see he has something mechanical about him. He's not just a normal raccoon. He's not a talking raccoon. In fact, he doesn't even believe he's a raccoon at all. And the second film, we hint that he's had a troubled past. He's very emotional when it comes to Yondu, and Yondu's passing especially, because he just doesn't want to lose friends. Clearly, he's had that tremendous loss before of friendship. And in the third movie, we touch on all of this shit. This is a Guardians film mission at a brisk pace of something they have to do really quickly, and it's not even fully about saving the galaxy this time. In fact, it's about saving themselves. Every character has this film has stakes. Every character is at risk. There was a moments in every scene where I was like, is this character gonna die? I think she's gonna die. Is he gonna die? Oh my fucking god. Like, it's constantly like you're on the edge of your seat, because they managed to make it fun and entertaining like you would with the Guardians, but you know at any moment these characters can go. James Gunn, you saw the Suicide Squad film, he could kill any of these fuckers at any minute. He can do the same with the Guardians. He knows what he's doing with the story, especially because this is the concluding end of this group of Guardians. Anything was destined to happen, and so I was just there the whole time, like, oh my god, this is so, like, insane. And that's mainly because the stakes are brought up from the villain being the High Evolutionary, who, when you see in the Rocket flashbacks, just in the trailer, dude, wait till you see the movie. It is some dark shit. This is the darkest MCU film by far. Just from imagery and things that you see on the screen alone, it'll mess with your head. And if you're an animal lover, be warned, this is a hard film to sit through. I love animals. Who doesn't love cute animals? But holy fuck, there are moments where I was like, oh my god, they're doing this, and they're going all the way, and it's not funny. I'm laughing, but it's more like uncomfortable laughter, but just how, like, brutal this movie gets. This might be also the goriest MCU film. There's not like a ton of gore, but there is gore effects in there. Like, there actually is blood at times. So at least they acknowledge, hey, humans have blood. Their skin can come off. This is a real thing that humans have. They don't just get shot and then, like, oh, black little hole, that must be that they're dead. I don't know. This movie, it shows it, and it goes all out for what it can. I mean, for the limit it can. It's not hard R Suicide Squad, you know what I mean? But this film really pieces together everything that I've loved from the past Guardians films. The character dynamics are great. If I had to pick standouts and just of characters on their own, the obvious ones are going to be, at least in my opinion, Rocket and Star-Lord. In the last film, I said it was Yondu and Rocket. In the first film, I said that it was Groot and Star-Lord. And now we've come down to it. I think this one, it's if I had to pick two, it'd be Rocket and Star-Lord. That's not to say every other character isn't great. In fact, if I had to pick a third and fourth, it would be Nebula and Mantis, who I think they do great with. Drax is always funny, like, holy shit. In terms of, like, most entertaining character, always going to be Drax for me, and it's sad Dave Bautista doesn't want to do this role anymore. He will be missed. Dave Bautista will be missed. I'm not saying Drax fucking died, by the way. He may or may not. I'm not going to fucking spoil this movie for you. I'm just saying it's sad that Dave Bautista's done with the role. Because, damn it, will he be missed. There's a lot of things here to really get into. The visual effects are also great. So if you're concerned about bad visual effects, they were like 2 little seconds of like little scenes. Like one has this explosion with a ship in front of it, and then there's this other one with Sylvester Stallone in a mask. Those 2 effects, a little off. I was like, that CGI doesn't look great. 99.9. Almost every other visual effect, practical and visual effect, in this movie looks fucking awesome. It is like the best looking visual effects in a Marvel movie we've had in forever. Finally, we have a visual effects driven superhero film, and the visual effects doesn't have like one scene that's like, holy fucking shit, this is like, no, this is bad. In times where it's off-putting. It looks really good. They put their time and effort into this movie, and it shows. And it's a great looking film. It has great musical, needle drops. They're all really good, as usual with James Gunn picking them. They fit the mood of the moment and the movie. There's a few here, and a few in 2, and a few in 1. And all 3 of them where I'm like, this feels like you played it because it's catchy. I don't know if it like 100% fits the moment, but just like all of them, it's usually like only one song that feels that way. Almost every other song fits perfectly, and he knows how to fucking capture. Like, it's the best soundtracks you get out there a day. Like, they're so good. And I've listened to all the songs to prepare for this movie, so when I went in, I was like, I know this song, and I can like sing it, because now. And it's a great soundtrack, just like the first 2. I think my favorite soundtrack overall might still be the first. But 2 and 3 are like amazing, and feature some of my now favorite songs of all time. So yeah, I'm coming up to an end on this. Everything is great about this movie. There's a few complaints I want to talk about. One with some of the story pacing and editing, how they tell some story elements through this movie. They do flashbacks. I thought the way they did them for some of the characters, and in some ways felt very tacked on in the editing process. I felt like they had to do it just to get through this movie quickly, because this is a 2.5-hour movie, but they have a lot to tell and show. So it's like, you know, tell and show and tell. So yeah, there's a lot they have to get done with. So of course it's not going to be like 100% always fucking registered and perfect. So I get that, but there's a few complaints I have with that. I also have, while I liked Adam Warlock in this film, a lot of people are going to say they probably didn't like Adam Warlock. I liked Adam Warlock. I thought this was a good adaptation of him. I have a few complaints about how he's utilized in the basic story. And a few other things, like a few little other things where I'm just like, here and here. But for the most part, I think this is a great MCU film. It's in my top 5 MCU films of all time now. I won't say where it ranks, and I'll get more into that when we do the spoiler review next Wednesday, but I won't post that till Friday, so you guys have a chance to see it. Yeah, I love this movie. I'm thinking right now a 9 out of 10. It's really goddamn good. It's not Guardians 2 for me, but on rewatches and expanding on my thoughts on it, just like that one had, it could go up and it could go down, but I love it. Either way, I'm always going to say I love it. This film is really good. If you've missed great Marvel films, this is the one to bring you back. You will love this. Audiences are going to fucking eat this shit up. This is not Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is not Thor: Love and Thunder. This is James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and it excels at what it needs to do. Great ending to this trilogy and franchise. I really enjoyed it a lot. So do go see it when it comes out on May 5th, or if you're going to those IMAX screenings on May 3rd with the trilogy, or go see it if you're one of those, I like to go on May 4th, the Thursday night with a big crowd in Dolby or IMAX. Do that, and it should be seen in IMAX. The reason they test screened it in IMAX, premiered it in IMAX, and did these fan event screenings yesterday on Friday the 28th in IMAX is because they want you to specifically see this one in IMAX. It was shot on IMAX, the whole movie. See it in IMAX if you can. Dolby's great too, but I would recommend IMAX. Just for that one experience you go with and bring friends and family. It's a great film. Yeah, 9 out of 10. That'll be it. And I didn't get to see Sisu, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, and Polite Society. Hopefully I will over the next few days. And if I do, I'll update some small thoughts on those. But for now, that's it.